What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Very wonderful, magnificent day of the week. 240p gang, squaw, bad bit rate boys, low quality mafia. Low quality is the movement. So today we're going to go into something that a lot of y'all asked me to do that I did on another platform, Telekinetics. Now, what would that be? It would be moving or being able to affect or manipulate physical reality around you with your mind over matter, basically, essentially. Kind of like that movie, if you guys ever seen it, Lucy, where the more she taps into like her brain power, and can use more of her brain because humans can't use all their brain at once. So the more she can unlock her DNA code, she can like become matter, physically manipulate and affect matter. She can be one with matter. She pretty much gains absolute control over the physical reality around her. So in a sense, is what we're talking about. So where I'm going to go with this actually is more on the like your inner energy side. Like, for example, like show Avatar, the way people can manipulate natural elements like fire, water, earth, and wind. Now, we actually have words for doing this. Like, for example, telekinesis is you being able to move things with your mind, not to be confused with telepathy, which is being able to speak between minds without having to use words or necessarily use or explain an idea. You can just instantaneously transfer information and data that the other person will understand based on the way you organize it in a matter of a second. Because your mind can, like, for example, like you can create a city in your mind in a millisecond and have that image, but all those individual components are formulating, manifesting simultaneously. So telepathy is a whole different thing. It's more of a means of communication that's just extremely efficient because it would be instant. So, right, let's go in. For example, you have Tai Chi practitioners that can, manipulate the energy and train themselves to be able to use the energy naturally in their body and with the surrounding environment. For example, you can go right now on YouTube. You can look up, because this is how I found it. Look up Tai Chi firebending. You will find videos of like monks or priests or what have you. What they're able to do is channel energy in their hand down to a specific point. Because the same way you have a magnifying glass in the sunlight, and you can then direct energy into like kind of like a beam, or the more you focus all that sunlight, all that raw energy, you can focus that heat, and you can like burn insects or what have you, or light stuff on fire. They can do that with their hands, because you have innate energy in your body you can utilize. So what they do is, since they have such good control over it, they can focus it into a point in their hand and concentrate it so it gets hot enough to project out and light things on fire. For example, one dude that he's in like a Buddhist monastery or a Shaolin outfit. He lights like newspaper kind of stuff, or like cardboard paper on fire, pile of it. And then to prove a point, he then actually does like a little breathing exercise, get himself right. He lights it on fire. He throws more paper into the fire he just made to prove a point. Like, he goes over to the side, grabs more Kindle, more paper, and throws it in. Just to prove, like, okay, I clearly lit this fire up with nothing but my hands. I didn't know how it's going. No matches, no lighter fluid, none of that. There's another video of this dude that's like a Tai Chi street performer. He lights brush on fire. And he has people, go through the brush, lift it up and down, lift it off the ground, shake it around. So you can see that there's nothing in it. And he's in a t-shirt, mind you. So, he doesn't have a lighter in his back pocket. No lighter fluid, no secret little thing. He does a similar kind of breathing exercise, does some similar hand motions, and does the same thing. He lights this brush on fire in the street, right? And that's what you would call pyrokinesis, right? And this is live. You can go look this up right now. You can probably find more videos if you want. So we'll go on to the second thing, which would be, you can find a video of this, geokinesis, or being able to, manipulate, like geology, geo being the earth, GEO, it's like a prefix. So, like a geologist, like studying rocks. So if you type in Tai Chi earthbending, you will find a video of this dude, and he has like a small crowd of people around him. So he basically puts his hand in on like a rock in the ground, like a big rock thing, which is just like a big rock in the ground, trying to pull it out with nothing but his bare hand. And mind you, the rock's kind of pointed, so he's kind of grabbing onto the point and just pulling up. So unless you have, pardon me again, incredible grip strength, even holding onto it while pulling up with that much force, that'd be like me doing it with this water bottle and trying to pull up like this on this water bottle with just my hand. It's pretty difficult without crazy grip strength. So, this dude does a little breathing thing, tries to, I guess, focus his energy on his hand and this rock. He starts pulling up. And lo and behold, slowly but surely, he pulls a rock out of the ground. And mind you, the rock's like twice as big under the ground. So it's kind of like a mini boulder, right? And like the ground kind of, not shakes or rattles like an earthquake, but like ruptures, like the ground ruptures and ripples up. So you can clearly see like he's pulling the soil up with the rock. Like it will be very, very, very hard to fake this shit. Very hard. Sure, if you're like a god tier level editor, but mind you, these videos are from like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago. Editing wasn't the same back then unless you're like a movie level production dude, right? Whereas like now any dude in their basement with a computer can make some things work. So this dude literally pulls a mini boulder out of the ground, like on some Earthbender Avatar shit, on some Legend of Korra type shit. It's impressive for like a mere mortal human to do, right? And we can do this kind of shit because if you go on the internet, you can find videos of people doing weird stuff like this with rocks. And that'll be called geokinesis. These are innate abilities we have as humans, as people. And I don't know the name for the one that's wind, but the first time I ever saw these videos was about 3 or 4 years ago. Like I saw it when videos had 50 views, not even 100 views. When this thing just started getting popular, dudes were all over YouTube trying to manipulate wind. On a windless day during the fall, they go around with some leaves and try to like make a little like leaf tornado and shit like that. Like really silly kind of like childlike kid stuff. And it was cool because there were, like before there was like tens of hundreds of videos, or probably less than 100. Now there's tens of hundreds. Like now there's thousands. Like if you type in hydrokinesis, you will find no. I've tried. You'll find no cool water bendy shit. No one's doing anything like that. Sadly, I've tried to find it, can't find it. But they have all these videos of people manipulating the air and wind to reverse the flow of a stream using the wind, move a pond around, basically move water using the air. And it's kind of cool after a while because you got to think of all these hundreds of videos. Are all of them edited? And if some of them are, like I said, years old, and like 5 to 10 years old, editing wasn't that good back then. So for all these videos to be fake and edited, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. But what I can say is there are other things that totally prove that as humans we have a lot more power than we think. Like there are monks who do these kinds of meditations called rainbow body meditation, right? And you can look this up because this is actually in the news. There are people, right? There are humans. They are sitting, crisscross Indian style meditative stance, and their bodies are naturally preserved with no help. No zero gravity air room, no airlock, none of that. It is just them and their body preserved, just due to them. Like no deep pressure, like it's just their body, their carcass. Like living matter, organic matter decays, especially like living matter like us. We decay, and it doesn't take that long in open conditions if you just leave something out. You know what I mean? So, like these dudes have had their bodies preserved for hundreds of years. No mummification necessary, nothing. Just they like meditated and made their energy so right they were able to just have their body be naturally preserved for hundreds of years. You can go to a museum and like check it out. Actually, it's just on the other side of the world from the U.S. But you can go check this shit out in real life. People do this shit. It's amazing, right? And also that just goes to show you that breath work and having control of your breathing is very interwoven with how you can utilize and manipulate your own energy and energy around you. Don't know why that they're related, but they clearly have to be related, which is important to know. Like, have you guys ever heard of Wim Hof, the Iceman? You ever think about this? There's this dude, right? This dude, so he made a breathing exercise based off this ancient breathing technique called Tummo. I believe you pronounce it Tummo. And what it was so way up in the Tibetan mountains and those kind of areas, maybe the Himalayas, there were monks and shit that if you know about that region at all, extremely cold. They're hot. They're high mountains, so higher altitude, it's colder. It's way colder. So if you want to live in caves and survive in the surrounding area, it's very important that you stay warm. And if you just have a fire in a cave, it's not necessarily going to, cut it. So what they would do is what they would actually do is it's very extreme. It's not a little extreme. It's very extreme. I actually found out about this before even the Wim Hof thing. I found out about this through like natural breathing exercise to see if you can get into like a DMT like state or extreme meditative type state. What they do is they hyperventilate for like up to 10 minutes. And by hyperventilating, I mean and the idea behind moving their stomach in and out is they're trying to fill up their lungs with air and breathe it out as rapidly as possible, and they'll lay flat on the ground and do this. And I don't know. I assume you could probably pass out from doing that, so you got to be careful. But that's what they would do, because after that amount of time, they would achieve a meditative state, and they would be able to oxygenate their body. Yes, they'd be able to oxygenate their body, which basically means their body would be in like the same way you can get like hydrated and then super hydrated. They'd be like super oxygenated. So what this ends up doing is that it helps activate your nervous system and your endocrine system, and it helps you to basically survive the cold, because your body feels less cold, and your body is more receptive. No, not receptive. Your body's less susceptible to cold. And what this dude did was to Wim Hof, he put science into that, so he could find the best way to do that without uncomfortably having to do that kind of exercise, because if you try, it's a little uncomfortable. So he came up with a method called the Wim Hof method. It'll take you 3 minutes about per round, do it up to 4 times per day. It'll help you sleep, help you wake up and have energy. It'll help you go to sleep, have better sleep, help you relax, help you be in a meditative state. It'll help you exercise. He actually has trials for that. And it will help you survive the cold, like cold showers, ice baths, you name it. And to prove a point, this dude actually ran a 5K on an ice sheet. Now, if you guys know what an ice sheet is, if you don't know, you should look it up. But in parts of the world, it gets so cold that there's just sheets of frozen water on top of regular ocean water, just floating, just ice. So it's like the edge of land, like a landmass, but it's ice because it's so cold on the edges of the water. So fuck a beach, they have ice sheets. Now this dude had like a full camera crew, news crew, record him. Full camera news crew, record him running a 5K. So that's running 3 miles on an ice sheet. And you can look this up. This man is mind you, this dude has like gray hair. He's like an older man. He's like 50 plus, which actually isn't even that much older, but like he's not a young dude at all. He's middle-aged to older than middle-aged as a human, with an average lifespan of 100 to 120 years, no matter how healthy you are. So, right? This dude runs 3 miles on an ice sheet in nothing but a Speedo and a beanie. He's in nothing but a Speedo, a literal Speedo, and a beanie, and nothing else. I don't even remember if the dude is wearing shoes or not. He might have did it barefoot, but don't quote me on that. He might have had shoes on. I don't remember. But that being beside the point, because that's even crazier if he did it, but even without that, it's still fucking bananas. Beanie, Speedo, running 3 miles on an ice sheet to prove that his method works. And that's why after he came out, you see all these different, like Kevin Hart has the whole, like, you're in a cold bathtub show with him, like all kinds of people swear by cold therapy now. All high-level performers are doing it because it's helpful for everything possible. All of them, everything. Like, there are natural life hacks that we have that we were never told about and were never hinted at and were hidden from us. For the reasons of, we're just incapable of doing incredible things if we just knew the information and knew what these things were and how we could possibly move towards them. Like, for example, this might more so go to the telepathy side of things, not telekinesis and physically affecting objects around you, or being able to, alter or being able to beat your physical environment, I guess. But, right, there's So if you look up this TED Talk, right, it might be a banned TED Talk, I forget, but it's basically a TED Talk on ESP. And by ESP, I don't remember the acronym, but basically they can do psychic ability kind of things. And it's called remote viewing. There's a TED Talk about a dude. There's also another TED Talk with Rupert Sheldrake, who tried to make a weird experiment where if you look, it's a common phenomenon where if you look at someone, they can possibly feel it and then feel you looking at them, so they'll go look at you. But they deemed that study wasn't accurate enough because they didn't do it like enough triple blind, or it wasn't free from bias or something. So it's not the Rupert Sheldrake banned TED Talk. This is a different TED Talk I'm referring to. This dude got government funding, and not government funding like a normal like state project to build a bridge or something or to do some weird community thing. No, this dude got funding like security clearance. You can't talk about it. No one really knows about it. We have our own building, our own unit, and none of y'all are going to talk to them. You're going to have your own little clearance to go do your own thing, your own job. And it was called remote viewing. And what they would do was they would have people do some kind of weird meditative state, and they also tried it with isolation tanks, which made it even better. Which isolation tanks were a whole different ballgame. They are very important. You should look up sensory deprivation tanks. Anyway, so what they would do is, remote viewing is just like it sounds. They would try to have an out-of-body experience, an OBE, and project themselves into a certain place at a certain time. And after a while of training these trainees and subjects, they were actually able to get decent results. And by decent results, I mean, for example, if you wanted to find what's known as an HVT, a high-value target, you could have someone find their location with their mind and then be able to sketch out some scribble, scrabble, squares, circles, and lines, and then they could use satellites to find that physical place in real life. And they would know, oh, okay, so this person is in this area of the map, or of the globe, because that area is where they saw with, the remote viewing. And then they would go there and find the person. And they were able to execute this with some margin of success, some accuracy, which is bananas if you think about it. So not only did it kind of work, the government thought it kind of worked well enough to dump money into it and make it, like they couldn't talk about it. Then after a while, they I guess gave up on it or said that this isn't what we're looking for in the best sense, so we're going to move on from it. Or maybe they still do. But anyway, they cut that guy off, so he was able to eventually do a TED Talk trying to explain how humans have these innate or innate abilities that we could tap into if we just knew that we even could do it in the first place, right? And you can look that up, and you can look the videos up that I've mentioned in this video for free, easily, whenever you want. Really. It's on there. It's on YouTube. It's on the actual internet. You can look it up. It's there. I actually sent, because I remember I made a Snapchat about it. Most of my friends were like, "This is bullshit." I sent them all links to the YouTube videos, right? I'm like, watch the video, watch them do this shit. Did not get opposition back. So, if you have any thoughts on this, feel free to leave them in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. By all means, all the support helps. Like it up, run it up. And you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Have a wonderful one. And wherever you're doing, good luck. Blessings.